You don't realize that that's my argument? Really? Do I really have to dumb it down more for you? Okay, let's do that. Our globe model suggests that all of the objects in our night sky came blasting out of the Big Bang billions of years ago. And even though the force that put all of the objects in motion in our night sky is the same, some of them orbit at different speeds. Coincidentally, they orbit at the exact speed necessary for them to maintain their orbit. Any slower and they'd go crashing into the object they are orbiting. Any faster and they would go flying off into space, never to be seen again. And even though the alleged force of gravity is an acceleration rate, these objects stop accelerating with no medium. You don't follow. The only reason why terminal velocity exists is because of our atmosphere. Without an atmosphere, the gravitational rate of acceleration would constantly cause this object to accelerate at a constant rate. So if the only force acting on these objects causing them to orbit is gravity, and gravity is an acceleration rate, how is it that these objects maintain their speed of orbit? Here on Earth, the gravitational rate is 9.8 meters per second. What that means is every second an object is in free fall, it would be accelerating by 9.8 meters per second. The only reason why that object would stop accelerating is because the atmosphere would cause drag, which would cause this object to stop increasing its speed. But if you remove the medium, this object would accelerate at a constant rate forever. But that's not what we see. Instead, what we see is these objects reach the exact speed necessary for them to orbit, and then they stop accelerating. But coincidentally, we are so lucky that these objects reach the exact speed necessary for them to orbit, and then they stop accelerating. Sometimes I forget that I am talking to the brainwashed masses that do absolutely none of their own thinking, so that is my fault for not being more stupid in my explanation. I will be sure to try to dumb it down more for those of you out there who think like that. To be clear, I don't care who believes me. Those of you out there with the brain will understand the point of my arguments. Those of you out there who are too brainwashed to see past your nose, you won't. And that's perfectly okay with me. It is clear that the average person does not think for themselves. Videos are not for the average person. My videos are for those of you out there who have intelligence and use your brain to think for yourself. The entire point of my video was about the coincidences necessary to believe in the globe model. You have to believe that these objects orbiting these other objects stopped accelerating, even though gravity is a constant state of acceleration, to orbit their other object forever. Feel free to regurgitate the nonsense that you were taught in school. Those of us who know the truth do not care what those of you stuck in the lie think about us. That's because we are free and you're not. Wakey wakey.